Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Lauren Kay. I'm going to be taking you through a 75-minute full body, all levels power flow. I just started teaching at a new beautiful studio down here in Tampa, Florida, and I'll be recording my weekly classes just to share them with those who can't join me in person. So we're going to go ahead and just get started, get into it, setting up in a comfortable seated position. This is called our Sukhasana position. So the ankles could be crossed on top of each other, one leg could be in front of the other. Finding your comfortable seat, highly suggest elevating the hips with a blanket, a block, or a bolster. I am using blocks and bolsters, and you can use anything you'd like at home to make the poses more accessible to you, and of course, to bring the ground up to meet you. Settling down here in your comfortable seated position, grounding the hips and the legs down into the mat. Spine elongates and stretches up. Shoulders stacked over the hips here. Head stacked over the shoulders. Crown of the head is going to be reaching up towards the ceiling. There may be a slight tuck of the chin to elongate the cervical spine. Taking a deep breath in, shrugging the shoulders up. Exhale, melting the shoulders down the back. One more time, deep breath, inhale in, shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders shrug down. I invite your gaze to soften at a point in front of you, or maybe the eyes gently close completely. We're bringing the intention and the attention inward here, where it belongs. Without changing anything, notice the natural pattern of your breath. Notice how the inhales expand the body, how the exhales ground you further into your mat, into your props, into your seat. Noticing any areas of spaciousness here, any areas of tension. Imagine you can send your breath to those tight areas, creating more space. Taking a moment here for yourself, welcoming yourself to your practice. Moving into some pranayamas here, softening the belly, softening the abdominal muscles. Your next inhale, send the breath to the low lungs. Belly expands out. Inhale, belly button pulls into the spine, pushing all of the air out. Inhale, belly puffs out. Exhale, belly retracts. Inhale, low lungs, belly expands. Exhale, hugging navel into spine gently. Continuing here with these deep belly breaths. Your inhale creates more space. Your exhale grounds you further. Taking a couple of more at your own pace, at your own breath. Your next inhale, sending the breath to the low lungs, lifting it up into the ribs, maybe all the way up to the chest and collarbone. Staying tall here. Exhale fully, hugging that navel into the spine. Inhale, belly puffs, ribs flare, collarbones lift. Stay tall as you exhale all of the air out, squeezing it out at the bottom of your breath. Inhale, belly expands, ribs open, collarbones lift. Exhale, fully releasing, fully emptying out. Continuing here with our 3-part Dirga breath, the long yogi breath. connecting mind to body. At the end of your next exhale, release any control of the breath, keeping the gaze soft or the eyes closed here. Taking one final moment, remembering that this is your practice. Listen to your body louder than you hear me. Honor yourself. If anything I guide does not resonate in your body today, feel free to adjust, move into another pose, or skip it completely. This is your practice. We're going to set the focus of today's intention on integrity, comfort, and ease in all that we do. Remembering that integrity, comfort, and ease. Inhale the arms up overhead, hands come to touch. Exhale, hands melt down the center line to heart center. Inhale, arms up overhead. Left hand drops down, staying up on the fingertips, walking the fingertips out as you arc the right arm up and over. Ground down through the right hip, staying long in the spine, side bend. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, right hand drops beside you, staying up tall on the fingertips, arcing over to the right hand side. No collapsing here, spine is nice and tall. Inhale, hands up to center. Exhale, right hand drops behind you like a kickstand. Left hand can come anywhere to that right thigh. Before twisting deeper, inhale, grows the spine tall, crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling. On your exhale, just like in your deep belly breaths, pulling the navel into the spine, twisting over to the right side. Maybe the gaze follows here. Relaxing the shoulders down the back. Inhaling the arms up and overhead. Exhale, left hand drops. Right hand comes to the left thigh. Shoulders stay stacked over the hips here. Inhale, grows the spine tall. Exhale, pulling the navel in, twisting the upper body. Shoulders relax. Inhale, arms up to center. Keeping the hands parallel here, spreading the fingers nice and wide, closing them, making a fist. Spreading them, making a fist. Moving a little bit faster. This is going to strengthen our wrist muscles. We're going to need it today. We are dealing with a lot of down dogs, a lot of fun poses. Moving even faster. Staying with me, opening and closing. Couple more seconds here. I know you feel it. I feel it too. 3, 2, 1. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Hands drop to the lap. Head comes down, chin to chest, rolling the neck open, right ear to right shoulder. Coming back through to center, rolling left ear to left shoulder. Couple more neck rolls here. Inhaling to center, exhaling ear to shoulder. The next time your right ear comes to your right shoulder, pause here. Take the gaze down towards the elbow, stretching deeply into the left neck. Inhale, ear to shoulder, coming to neutral, moving to the left side, pause. Dropping the left chin down. Stretching deeply here into our right side neck. Coming back to center. Hands come back behind you. Pressing into your hands, lifting the hips, coming into a front body stretch here. Maybe the gaze rises up. Exhale, sitting the hips back. Hands come back to the knees, taking some seated circles. One direction and the other. Moving any props out of the way. We're actually going to come down into our backs. We're going to move into a really, really nice core activation series here. Slowly, with control, drop down onto the back, lifting both legs up, flexing the feet, toes pointing down. Hands are going to come behind the head here. Inhale, lifting the head, lifting the shoulders. Exhale, hovering the left leg a couple of inches off of the mat. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, right foot drops down, hovering. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, releasing down. I know you feel it. I'm shaking. I bet you are too. One more time. Inhale, crunching up, shoulders and head lift. Exhale, dropping the left leg down, hovering a couple of inches, pause. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, right leg. Pause. Inhale, right leg up. Woo! Laying back down. Always good to activate the core. Using a little bit of momentum here, rolling up, planting the hands down, shifting into our tabletop position. Shoulders are going to be stacked over the wrist. Hips are stacked over the knees here. Gaze is down between the hands. Crown of the head reaches towards the front of your mat as the hips pull towards the back. This is our tabletop pose. Fingers are spread nice and wide here. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze, drop the belly, cow. Exhale, actively press into the mat, rounding the spine. Head drops between the hands, cat. Inhale, coming back into our cow, tailbone and gaze lift. Exhale, pushing into the floor, pushing into your mat, rounding the spine, cat. Taking a couple of more here with your own breath at your own pace. Weaving in any intricate movements you might like, maybe taking a barrel roll one direction, maybe the other. Before coming back to our neutral position, keeping a bend in our right knee. We're going to go ahead and lift that right foot up. Imagine you can press the ceiling away with that right foot. Open up the hip. Start by making some hip circles here. Getting into that hip joint, loosening it up. And in the other direction, elbows are straight, always finding integrity of the pose. Coming to neutral, stepping the right foot forward, coming into a low lunge, pushing into the foot, coming up first. Again, focusing on integrity before depth. Think about lengthening the tailbone down to the ground, activating the core, zipping up through the center line. As you bend into the right knee, shoot the hips forward and down. Inhale, arms up overhead. This is our low lunge position. Grasp hold of the left wrist, arc over to the right hand side. That'll help you stretch deeper into the left hip flexor. Coming up to neutral. Hands come to the hip, push into the leg, come up a little bit. We're going to pivot that back foot. Just move some props. Pivot the back foot like a kickstand behind you. We'll be coming into a side lunge variation. Bend into the knee, melting the hips down. Using your right hand to slowly and gently open up that right knee. Maybe taking a chin mudra here. Couple of breaths. Inhaling, straightening the leg, pivoting the foot, toes face the long edge of your yoga mat. Right hand comes down to the right thigh. Inhale, left arm up and overhead, arcing over to the right hand side. This is our gate pose, Padikasana. Coming up to come out, left hand dropping down beside us, right arm up overhead. This is a variation of our side plank. Remembering this variation modification, we are coming into side plank later on. If it's not within your practice today, always remember that you can bring the knee down taking this variation. Maybe the arm reaches up overhead, coming into a counter stretch. Right hand drops down. Slowly walk the fingertips to frame the front foot, grabbing hold of the blocks. We're already in our Ardha Hanumanasana, or half split. Stretching deeply into the right hamstring. Bending into the knee, planting the foot. We're melting the hips down as we pull the chest through. Low lunge. Press into the foot, come up on the heel. Straighten the right leg. Bring the hips back, half split. Couple more here. Inhale, melting forward, pulling the chest up. Maybe the gaze follows. Exhale, pressing into the mat, straightening the leg, pulling the hips back. One more time, at your own pace, with your own breath here. Meeting me in a low lunge, moving the yoga blocks out of the way. Hands come down, right knee joins the left. Go ahead and tuck your toes. Walk the hands back. We're coming into a little bit of a toe stretch here. Coming into cactus arms. Facing you. Bending into the elbows, cactus arm. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, round the spine, bringing the forearms and the hands to touch. Inhale, open. Exhale, bringing it together. Last time, inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, round the spine, forearms and hands come to touch. Coming back to neutral, grasping both hands, making some figure eights here. Stretching into those wrist muscles. And in the other direction, I kind of have to think about that, which way I'm going. Making some circles here. Shaking it out. Beautiful. Coming back into our tabletop position, moving over into the left-hand side. Keeping a bend in the left knee, lifting the left leg up, opening the hip, taking a couple of hip circles here. Elbows stay straight. Moving in one direction. Moving in the other direction. Before stepping the left foot forward. Coming up slightly. Melting the tailbone down, activating the core. As you bend into your knee, shooting the hips forward and down to access that right hip flexor. Inhale, arms up overhead, low lunge. Grabbing hold of the right wrist, arcing over to the left-hand side, stretching even deeper here. Inhale brings us to a neutral position. And sending that right leg back, kicking it back like a kickstand. I'll meet you in this way. There we go. I had to think about that for a second. Go ahead and melt the hips down. This is our side lunge variation. Right hand can come to right hip. Using that left hand to gently guide the left knee open. Stretching deeper into your inner thighs. Taking a breath or two here. Pushing into the foot, straightening the leg, pivot the foot out. Left hand stays on the left thigh. Inhale the right arm up and overhead. Parigasana. This is our gate pose. Right hand comes down. Left arm up. Side plank variation. Remembering this modification for the future if needed. Maybe the left arm up overhead, coming into a full counter stretch here. One long line of energy from the base of the foot to the tips of the fingers. Left arm comes down, circling forward, coming into half split. Reintroducing the blocks here. I am a big proponent of blocks. Ain't no shame in our prop game. Half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. Stepping the foot forward, melting the hips down, bringing the chest forward, gaze up. Low lunge. Pressing into that heel, pulling the hips back, straightening the leg, half split. One more time at your own pace with your own breath. Inhale, expands. Exhale, retracts, straightens, and relax. Stepping the foot down, moving the blocks out of the way. Bring the left knee to meet the right. Coming down tabletop, walking the hands one handprint forward, dropping the hips down, taking some hip circles here, releasing any additional tension. One direction and the other. Before tucking the toes, sending the hips up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. This is our downward facing dog. It's our first down dog of the day. Go ahead and pedal the feet out. Bend deeply into one knee. Send the opposite heel down to the mat. Reversing this motion. Other knee bends. Sending the heel back. Couple of more times. Shaking the head no. Shaking the head yes. Inhale, brings the big toes to the center of the mat to touch, shifting the weight into the left foot. Right leg rises. Bend into that knee, opening up the hip. Maybe taking a hip circle or two here. Before coming back to neutral, shifting forward, gaze to the top of the mat, stepping the right foot down, pivoting the left foot at a 90-degree angle. Before coming up, always check that your base is secure. Heel to heel alignment here. Knee is stacked over the ankle. Back foot 90 degree. Inhale, left arm up and overhead, coming into our warrior two pose. Checking in here. Shoulders stacked over hips. Head stacked over shoulders. Let me introduce you to some warrior arms. Bend into the elbows, bringing the arms down by your side. Shoulder blades retract, pretending that there's something behind your back that you're holding on to. And straightening the arms. Gaze comes over the right hand. Pause. Breathe. Checking in here. Inhale. Right leg straightens, stretching the arms up overhead. Exhale, melting down into your warrior two. Inhale, straighten and lengthen up. Exhale, bend into that knee, melt down. One more time. Inhale, straightening. Exhale, warrior two. Flipping the right palm, reaching forward and up. Left hand comes down, reverse warrior. Bringing the right elbow to the right thigh. Left arm up overhead, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior, flowing here. Feeling the strength of the right thigh. Exhale, extended side angle. One more time, at your own pace, with your own breath. Inhale, expands. Exhale, attracts. Coming back into our warrior two. Straightening the front leg. Hiking the hips up and back. Reaching forward with that front arm. Keeping the spine in a straight line. Dropping the right arm down somewhere on the inside of the leg. Maybe even introducing a block here. Left hand up overhead. This is our Trikonasana, our triangle pose. Pausing here, building up heat. Bending into the front knee. Left hand cartwheels and plants down to the mat. Left foot pivots onto the ball of that. Inhale, opening up the right arm, opening up the chest. Runner's lunge with a twist. We're moving into our side plank here. If you need to take that modification and variation that we worked on earlier, go ahead. Otherwise, roll onto the outer edge of the left foot, bringing the right foot, stacking it on top. Vashisthasana, this is our side plank. Using the abs and the hips to lift the hips up higher. Right hand comes down into our plank position, holding here. 2 breaths, nice and strong, pushing actively into the mat, broadening the back. Taking our flow, bringing the knees down, bending into the elbows, chin and chest come down to the mat. Inhaling, cobra pose, bhujangasana, keeping the elbows bent and close to the body. Exhaling, pushing up and back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, bend into the knees, gaze forward, stepping or hopping to the top of your yoga mat. Fold, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head reaching towards the front of the mat, hips pulling back, flat back here. Exhale, bending into the knees, relaxing the upper body on the thighs, forward fold. Inhale, arms up overhead, hands come to touch. This is our upward salute, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Taking a moment here in your mountain pose. Gaze is softer, the eyes gently close. Feeling the effects of your practice. Comparing right side and left side body. What's changed for you so far? Feeling your heart beating under your palms. Noticing and appreciating your body here. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant down, stepping or hopping back into our plank position. Bending in the knees, sending the hips up and back, down dog. Coming up high onto the balls of the feet, rippling the spine forward into your plank. Bend in the knees, hips up and back. Rippling forward once again, taking this flow. Inhale to plank. Exhale, down dog. Last time, at your own pace, with your own breath. Meeting me in a downward facing dog here. Taking a cleansing breath. Deep inhale in through the nose. Large sigh, exhale out the mouth. Bringing the big toes to touch in the center of the mat. Shifting the weight to the right foot. Inhale, left leg up and back. Bend into the knee, three-legged dog. Maybe taking a circle here. One direction. Hip circle in the other. Coming back to a neutral down dog. Gaze shifts forward as you step the left hand in front. Right foot pivots down. 90-degree angle. Heel to heel alignment. Left knee is going to be stacked over the left ankle. I don't know how the left knee can stack over the right ankle. Love to see if someone can do it. Inhale, arms up overhead. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Can you melt the hips down, keeping the shoulders stacked over the hips, head stacked over the shoulders? Inhaling, straightening the front leg, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, bending into the knee, melting into warrior 2. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, warrior 2. Last time, inhale, straighten the leg, reaching up as far as you can. Exhaling down into your warrior 2 position. Bending into the arms, retracting the shoulder blades, keeping the strength you just found in your back. Straightening the arms, warrior 2 arms. Flipping the front palm, reaching forward and up, reverse warrior. Bringing that left elbow to the left thigh, reaching the right arm up and over, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior, extend the side body. Exhale, extended side angle. Last time, following your breath. Coming up, warrior 2. Straightening the front leg, pulling the hips up and back, reaching forward with the left hand, dropping the left hand down, reaching the right hand up and over. Trikonasana, this is our triangle pose. Stretching deeply into the back of the left leg, into the hamstrings, into the inner thighs. Taking a second here. Bending into the knee, dropping the right hand down to the mat, pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Inhale, open up. Runner's lunge with the twist. Moving into our side plank from here, taking any modification or variation that works for your body today. Rolling onto the outer edge of the right foot, bringing the left foot, stacking it on top. Pushing out of the shoulder. Core is active, lifting those hips up. Bringing the left hand down to meet the right. Plank position. 2 full breaths here. Inhale. And fully exhale. One more time. Taking our flow, dropping the knees, or coming into full chaturanga, bending the elbows, coming down, knees, chin, and chest. Inhale, back bend of your choice, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, bend into the knees, sending the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Taking a moment here, couple of breaths. Shaking the head no, shaking the head yes. Bending into the knees, gaze forward, step or hop up. Uttanasana, forward fold. Generous bend in the knees here. Bring the crown of the head towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, melt forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Hands come up overhead, gaze follows the thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart center. This is our mountain Tadasana. Gaze is soft, or the eyes can close. Taking a couple of moments here. Feeling your heart beating under your hands. Feeling the effects of your practice thus far. Maybe feeling a little bit of sweat like I am. Little bit of shake. Love it. Inhaling, arms up overhead, hands come to touch, gaze follows. Exhale, swan dive forward, flat back. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, planting the hands down. Coming into our downward facing dog. Taking 3 more cleansing breaths here. Inhale into the nose. Sigh, exhale out the mouth. 2 more. Bringing the big toes to touch at the center of the mat. Shifting the weight into the left foot. Inhale, right leg up and back, 3-legged dog. Keeping the hips square to the yoga mat here. Taking a deep, big inhale at the top of your stretch. Exhale, shifting forward, knee to nose. Inhale, right leg up and back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, shift it forward, knee to nose, tucking the chin, bringing it in. Inhale, last time, stretching it up and back as far as you can. Exhale, knee to nose, hold, pulling that knee into the chest. Gaze comes to the front of your yoga mat, stepping the right foot forward. Staying high on the ball of the left foot. Keeping a bend in that right knee. Inhale, arms up overhead, high lunge. Anjaneyasana. Checking in here, shoulders stacked over the hips. Head stacked over the shoulders. Melting the tailbone down. Activating the core to protect the lower back. There might even be a slight bend in that back leg. Taking whatever modification or variation is speaking to you and allows your accessibility to the poses. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, bend into the left knee, tapping it down to the mat, pulsing with me for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, we stretch up. Exhale, pivot the upper body forward. Arms come back behind you. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, high crescent lunge. Exhale, shift forward, arms back. Inhale. And on your exhale, shifting forward, arms coming back. Coming back into our high crescent lunge. We're going to be moving into Virabhadrasana 3 or Warrior 3. Let's make sure your blocks are at the top of your mat if you need it. Shifting your weight into your front right foot. Coming up, lifting the back leg, upper body parallel to the mat. Bringing your blocks in if needed. I'm going to bring them in because I need to talk. Taking a moment here. Using the left glute muscles to lift the leg up higher. Bending into both knees. Slowly and with control, bring the left knee into the chest. Inhale, back into your warrior three. Hands could be at heart center here. Exhale, knee to chest. Feeling the shakes in that right hip, right outer glute. One more time. Inhale, stretches us out. Warrior three. Exhale, hugging the knee into the chest. Grabbing hold with both hands, coming up straight with the flat back. Crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling, maybe taking an ankle roll here. Grabbing hold of that left knee with the right hand. Left arm stretches up and back. Knee to chest with a twist. Whew, feeling it. Inhale brings us back to center. Exhale slowly with control, keeping that leg lifted, shifting the upper body forward, stepping back into our high lunge. Inhale, arms up overhead. Maybe taking a back bend, gaze follows. Exhale, coming back, high crescent lunge here. Woo. Bringing the arms down to frame the front foot. Planting the hands, staying up high on that left foot. Inhale, sends the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, right foot drops, taking our flow from here. Shifting forward, plank. Knees, chin, or chest, or full chaturanga. Whatever is speaking to you today. Back bend of your choice. Either cobra or pressing into the mat, lifting the legs up, upward facing dog. Pivoting down dog. Bend into the knees, gaze forward. Either step or hop to the front of your yoga mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bringing it down. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands melt down the center line. Taking a moment here. Pausing. Feeling your heart beating. Feeling your core temperature rising. Noticing the difference between left and right side body. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Planting the hands, stepping back, plank position, holding for 2 breaths. Pushing into the mat, broadening the upper back, pressing the heels back like there's a wall behind you. One last breath here. Before shifting back, downward facing dog. Whew. One last sequence. Bringing the big toes to touch, shifting the weight to the right foot. Inhale, left leg up and back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Inhale, stretching it up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, tucking the chin, pulling it in. Inhale, last stretch, up and back, make it count. Exhale, pulling the knee into the chest. Looking forward, stepping the left foot forward. Coming up high onto the right foot, making any adjustments needed. Inhale, arms up overhead. High crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Taking a breath. Checking alignment, shoulders over hips. Elongating the tailbone down. Pulling the core up, protecting our low back. Inhale, arms up. Bend into the back knee, bring it down to the mat. Pulse with me. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, arms forward and back. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, shifting the upper body forward, arms coming back behind you. Inhale, arms up. Last one, take it with your own breath. Pausing here, feeling the heat build. Hands coming to heart center. Shifting the weight into the front left foot, lifting the back leg up as you pivot the upper body parallel to your yoga mat. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. I'm introducing blocks here just so I can continue to talk. Taking a breath. Strong on the back, on the left leg, pressing into all four corners of the foot. Bending into the right knee. Inhale, bringing that right knee into chest. Taking a breath here. On your next inhale, stretching the right leg up and back. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. And pulling the knee into the chest. Inhale, coming back. Shaking is good, wobbling is good, falling out perfectly fine. And bringing that knee into the chest. Grasping the knee with both hands. Maybe pulling it in further. Straightening the front leg, the left leg. Holding on to that right knee with your left hand. Right arm comes back behind you, coming into a twist. Inhale back to center. Slowly and with control, send that right leg back one more time. Stepping into our Anjaneyasana, high crescent lunge. Inhale, arms up overhead. Maybe taking a back bend, gaze up. Exhale, sweeping the arms down. Planting on the mat. Pulling the knee into the chest. Sending the left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Dropping the left foot to meet the right. We'll take a flow from here. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, either knees, chin and chest, or full chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. Shaking the head no. Shaking the head yes. Bending into the knees, looking forward. Stepping or hopping to the front of your yoga mat. Releasing down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Inhale, arms up overhead. Upward salute. Exhale, hands melt down to heart center. Gaze is softer, eyes closed. Taking deep breaths. Feeling into your body here. Showing it love and appreciation for how strong it is getting you through this flow. Embracing every shake, every fallout. Loving every moment. One last flow. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhale, diving forward. Uttanasana is our forward fold. In this forward fold, I want you to heel toe the feet out a little bit wider. Generously bend into the knees. Grabbing hold of opposite ankles. Swaying the upper body back and forth, right to left. Releasing any tension in the back. Inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arms, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant down. Stepping back, dropping the hips or the knees. Dropping the knees, sitting the hips back. We're going to come into an easy child's pose here. So our knees are going to be closer together than a wide-legged child's pose. You can have a block under the forehead to make it a little bit more accessible. Or you can go ahead and just drop the forehead down, arms swing out by your side, hands at your feet. Taking a minute here. Releasing any additional tension that might be creeping in the back. Feeling the breath against the top of your thighs. Arms stretch up overhead. Push into the mat. Making our way back into our downward facing dog, slowing down our practice now. Big toes come to touch at the center of the mat. Shift the weight over into the left foot. Inhale, right leg up and back. Bend the knee, yawn the hip open to the side of the room. Come back to neutral. Shift forward. Knee comes to the right elbow, holding here, floating pigeon. Slowly and with control, bringing that right knee behind the right wrist. You want your right thigh parallel to the long edge of your yoga mat. It doesn't really matter how close that foot is into your body. It could be at a 90-degree angle. It could be right under the left hip. Wherever it is, it's perfectly fine. We're coming into our Kapotasana. This is our pigeon pose. Before coming down fully, checking in, making sure there's even weight distribution between the left side hip, right side hip. It might be nice to take a blanket, a block, or a bolster, putting it under the right hip to bring the ground up, making this pose more accessible to you. Bringing your attention inward here, moving slowly through these transitions. You want to find your edge, but not move past it. We don't chase sensation here. We just want everything to have integrity, comfort, and ease. All comes full circle, see? Grabbing your blocks or pushing into the mat, stretching the spine long, crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling, maybe even taking a slight back bend here. Coming back to neutral, keeping the length that you just found in your spine, bending into your elbows, melting your chest forward. Couple of variations you can take. You can stay up high on blocks and your forearms. My personal favorite is to come up onto my forearms, resting my head on a block. If you're in either one of those variations, make sure you're not collapsing into your upper back, pushing in gently. Maybe your hands can come one on top of the other, and your forehead melts down on top of the hands. Maybe you've been doing this practice over and over the past 2 weeks, and you can fully melt down onto your mat. Wherever you are, we're going to be here for about a minute. We want to come into full stillness. Taking deep inhales, expanding the body. Full exhales, melting us further into the pose. Wherever you are, fully relaxing down. Breathing deeply. I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Deepen the inhale, using arm strength, pressing into your mat, tucking the back toes, taking whatever movements you need here to release that hip. Maybe a couple of hip circles. One of my favorites is to come down into cobra pose. Wherever you are, meeting us in our downward facing dog. This is going to be the last down dog of our session. Fingertips are spread wide, hands and fingers pressing into the mat. Arms and legs are straight and strong. Relaxing the head down, hips up and back. Inhale, left leg rises. Bend into the left knee, yawn the hip open. Exhale, shift forward, bringing the left knee behind the left elbow, holding here, floating pigeon. Gently releasing the knee down. Right leg stretches long back behind you. Coming into our Kapotasana, pigeon pose on this side. Introducing any props needed here, blanket, a blocker, a bolster under the left hip. I like to grab my blocks. Let's stretch out, finding integrity and length before depth. Press into your blocks or your mat, lifting up your spine, crown of the head shines toward the ceiling. Maybe you can even take a slight back bend, gaze up. Coming back to neutral, keeping the length you just found. Bending into the elbows, melting the chest and the head down. Taking whatever variation works for you on this side. Remembering that the left side and the right side can be completely different. That's why we move very slowly through all of these transitions. We really want to feel where our edge is without pushing past it. Once we feel any type of sensation, fully relaxing down into the pose. These are yin style poses. Generally, they're held anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes, but we'll just, speed through that a little bit. Relaxing fully wherever you are. The body comes into perfect stillness. We're going to be here for about a minute. Don't forget to breathe. Deepening your breath. Using arm strength, pushing the upper body up. Taking any position or pose here that you need, any movements to loosen up that left hip. Maybe a couple of hip circles, maybe coming into downward facing dog. Whatever it is that your body needs, listening to and honoring it. Wherever you are, meeting me in a wide-legged child's pose. So we're going to bring the big toes together, knees wide apart, as wide as is comfortable for you. Do not force anything here. Sitting the hips back onto the heels, finding length, walking the hands forward, bringing the head and the chest down to the mat, If you need to use the block here to make it more accessible, putting a block under the chest or the head is really, really nice. You can even relax fully on a bolster, finding whatever variation sounds the best and feels the best in your body, really honoring it where it is today. I invite your gaze to soften or your eyes to completely close, pulling your attention inward where it belongs. We're going to be here for about a minute, finding your variation, coming to stillness. Your inhales expand the body. Your exhales ground you deeper into your props, deeper into your mat. If you are laying on a bolster facing in one direction, we're halfway through here. Face in the other direction, about 30 more seconds. Deepening the breath, walking the hands back, moving slowly through your transitions here. We're going to be coming into a laying chest opener, one of my personal favorites. Shift forward into your tabletop, bringing the knees together. Sitting around, turning around, sitting down. My personal favorite way is just to keep my bolster relaxing fully down. That way your entire back body is supported. If you don't have a bolster, not a problem. Use a really firm pillow, even one or two of them. Or if you prefer, you can introduce your blocks here. So I'm a little bit taller in the torso, so I like to have one block the long way in the mid back. The other block is going to go right under the head, draping the body, relaxing fully on your blocks, taking whatever variation that you prefer, whatever is accessible to you, whatever is the most comfortable. I'm personally obsessed with my bolster, so that's what I'll be doing. Slowly dropping down here, relaxing fully. Legs could be straight out, or soles of the feet can come together, knees apart, taking our butterfly pose or our Baddha Konasana. I even like to get double comfortable and elevate my head even a little bit more. We're going to be here for a little bit over a minute. This is going to be our last hip opener, our last chest opener. Really marinate in the pose. Taking a deep inhale, fully relaxing with your exhale, Gravity slowly pulling you deeper. Coming into stillness. Don't forget to breathe. Deepening the breath. Planting the forearms and the hands down onto the mat. Curving chin to chest. Pressing up using our hands. We're going to remove any and all props we have behind us. Just moving them over to the side, pushing them out of our way. Slowly and with control, rolling down, coming to lay. Of course, my hair is in the way. Inhaling, bringing the right leg into the chest, grabbing hold here. Pressing the back of the left heel into the mat, maybe flexing that left foot, getting the last stretch into our hip flexor. Taking some ankle rolls, one direction and the other. Grabbing hold of the right knee, pulling it, twisting over to the left-hand side. Maybe introducing a block or a prop under the left knee. Your right arm could extend out, or I like to bend in, making a cactus arm here. Right shoulder is going to be pressed into your yoga mat, collarbones facing up to the ceiling. Taking a breath here. Releasing any additional tension in the low back. Inhale, right leg into the chest. Bringing the left leg in, stretching the right leg out long. Flexing into the right foot, heel presses into the mat. Taking some ankle rolls with the left leg now. One direction, point and flex. Before grabbing hold of the left knee, bringing it over to the right-hand side, coming into a supine spinal twist. Maybe introducing a prop under that left knee, blanket, block, bolster. Bringing the ground up, making the pose more accessible for you. We're here for a couple of breaths. Left shoulder digs into the mat. Collarbones are up and squared to the ceiling. Breathing here. Inhale, pulling the left knee into the chest, pulling the right knee in, maybe making some circles with the knees, massaging the low back. Really taking any additional pose here that feels intuitive or good in your body. Maybe moving into a happy baby, maybe legs up the wall, whatever you need here. Before meeting me in our final resting pose, our Shavasana. Using any props. I use my bolster under my hips. Fully relaxing into the mat, relaxing into your props. Relaxing all of the muscles in your face and your jaw. Maybe opening and closing the jaw a couple of times. Arms and legs stretch out long beside you, taking up space here. Gaze can be soft, or I invite you to close the eyes gently. Feeling the back body grow heavy into the mat. Hips grow heavy into the mat. Coming into stillness. Fully releasing here. This moment is just for you. Deepening your breath without moving a muscle. Slowly waking the body back up. Turning the head from side to side. Introducing small movements to the fingers and the toes. Maybe those movements grow larger. The wrists and the ankles. Maybe a couple of snaps, cracks, and pops here. Inhale, extending the arms up overhead. One last full body stretch. Exhale, pulling the knees into the chest, hugging them in. Rolling over onto your right hand side. Using the left hand to push up into the mat. Coming back to a comfortable seated position here. Reintroducing any props under the hips. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, melting the hands down the center line. Bringing your attention inward. Thanking your body showing gratitude for bringing you through this practice today. I thank you for joining me. From my heart to yours. Namaste.